Who wants to wrestle? Hello book people, PT Hilton here. I'm here today with a quick take on RASL by Jeff Smith. This is the latest work, I believe, by Jeff Smith, who is most notably known as the author, writer, artist of the Great Bone series, which is, of course, an excellent classic work of sequential art. It's an all-ages book. If you haven't read it, definitely check it out. This is his follow-up, RASL. Definitely not all ages. I'll tell you that. There's a lot of sex, a lot of violence in this one. But pretty cool. I've got all 4 editions, which I got from my library. We've got Volume 1, The Drift. Volume 2, The Fire of St. George. Volume 3, Romance at the Speed of Light. And Volume 4, The Lost Journals of Nikola Tesla. So let's talk about what RASL is. I went into it knowing not a ton about it, and what I thought I knew about it turned out to be kind of wrong. So I had heard it was the story of an art thief who travels through parallel worlds. So he'll go to a parallel world and steal a, some very famous, valuable painting, bring it back to our world and sell it. That's what I knew about it, and that is correct. That is the basic premise, but I thought the book was going to be mostly about that, like about art heists, about him plying his trade, when it's really not. So our character, who goes by the codename RASL, has the power to travel to different dimensions. He does so, and like I said, steals artwork, comes back to our dimension, and sells it. But the main thrust of the story really is that he's a former scientist who helped discover this technology that helps travel to different parallel worlds, and is based on some ideas by Nikola Tesla. And he's really obsessed with Tesla, and a lot of the book is about the theories of Tesla and talking about the history of Tesla. So I learned a lot about that, which was very cool. But he became disillusioned with like what the government was going to maybe do with his discoveries, and he ended up kind of quitting his job and stealing the technology and using it for his own personal gain. And throughout this series, he kind of gets pulled back in. There's some people who are after him, and he's kind of has an adventure throughout these parallel worlds. It's a very cool story. The artwork is similar to Bone. It's black and white. Cool style, similar to Bone. And some of the people, even though they're like just supposed to be normal people, some of the people in this are very strange looking, such as this gentleman here, who it says in the back, Jeff Smith says was based on a salamander. So there's some strange stuff like that that's going on. This book does get pretty deep into the science, or at least like kind of fringe science or conspiracy kind of type stuff. So it really gets deep into this, and I'm curious. I need to do some research to figure out like how much of this is real, the stuff about Tesla, and how much of it is just like weird conspiracy theory type stuff. I don't necessarily know, but Jeff Smith definitely, as far as like just a craftsman of graphic novels, he's excellent. I recommend reading it just because it's so well put together. It's such an interesting story, and he uses the art form so well. The story at the end of the day didn't completely blow me away, but there's enough interesting ideas here, and it is so well executed that I think it's definitely worth a read. Lots of interesting thoughts about parallel worlds, and one of the cool things is that RASL, our main character, when he goes to different worlds, he doesn't necessarily know if he's back in his home world or not, so he has to like do a little investigation and he's figured out a few things that are kind of, if not unique, at least different about our world. One of those things is the artist Bob Dylan. In our world, of course, goes by Bob Dylan, and in a lot of the parallel worlds, he just goes by his birth name of Robert Zimmerman. So one of the things he often looks for is he looks for a copy of Blonde on Blonde to see if it's by Bob Dylan or by Robert Zimmerman. So very interesting stuff, really cool story about parallel worlds, a lot of science, and just a great piece of comic book artwork. It's also in these like oversized editions, and I believe this was how it was originally printed, was like in these oversized editions. I could be wrong on that, but really cool. I always like reading comics at like bigger sizes. It makes me feel like a kid or something to hold that big book in my hand. Also, I just like to see it closer to the size the artist actually drew it at. So that is RASL by Jeff Smith. If you do read it, let me know what you thought. I'll talk to you next time. Bye.